I'm wondering, why do you think that people hate you so much?
Well, they don't.
Why are your opinions so divisive?
Well, you know, the funny thing is, like, this is literally the case. I've had like 4 pieces of hate mail in the last year. That's it. Like, I'm not getting hate. This is not good. But you know, it doesn't take very many people to produce something like this, and it's the same old suspects. You know, like I've been demonstrated against a number of times in the Southern Ontario area, and I see the same people. It's like, how many people do you need?
They make a lot of noise.
Yes, they do, and they're organized, and they do this sort of semi-professionally.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel? I know that people make this association with you because I've seen it when we have guests come on. We have a thread on our subreddit and people post their questions, and I've seen it before. People associate you with pandering to like white supremacists, or worse. I've even seen the suggestion that you are a white supremacist yourself. So how do you feel about that? And that seems to be like a somewhat widely held.
Well, I don't know what to think about that. It's completely ridiculous. Like, for example, I'm an honorary member of a Native American tribe. I got inducted last year. I have an Indian name, a Native American name. Like, it's completely preposterous. And I've been buying carvings from this like isolated tribe in northern Vancouver on northern Vancouver Island for 15 years, you know, and so, and I've had it's preposterous. And I mean, there's evidence that it's preposterous, and the evidence is that I have 260 videos on YouTube, and they must total at least 600 hours, something like that. And, you know, by now people have been over them essentially with a fine-tooth comb. Virtually everything I've said in my classes to my students in the last 25 years is on video. And so if there was anything in there that was even remotely associated with that, it would come out. But it's even worse than that, because it's actually the opposite. Because the reason I've been teaching students since 1993 about the Holocaust and what happened in the Soviet Union, you know, and I've been trying to make them understand how that's associated with the unwillingness to accept personal responsibility, and educating them as deeply as I can about the horrors of exactly that sort of thing. Like, it's obsessed me ever since I was very, very young. And so not only is it not true, it's anti-true. It's seriously untrue, you know. And I think also the other thing that's worth pointing out is that, you know, I get angry comments from time to time about the fact that I post tweets to the Kekistani types, you know, but I get dozens of letters from people who, well, both from the far left and from the far right, or from the right, who said that they've listened to my videos and as a consequence have seriously modified their views, you know, and they've moved towards the center, which is, well, as far as I'm concerned, that's a much more appropriate place to be.
Sure.
So there's no evidence for any of that. There's plenty of evidence for the opposite. I think part of it is, though, that, you know, I've talked to lots of people in the last year, and most of the people I've talked to have been conservative. But the reason for that is they're the ones who asked me to talk. Like, I'm perfectly willing to. I actually did a talk in Vancouver about a year ago now called "A Left-Wing Case for Freedom of Speech." You know, because you can make a very strong left-wing case for freedom of speech. In fact, a stronger case, I would say, in some sense, because to the degree that the left historically has genuinely been about allowing the working class a voice, which I think is classical democratic socialism, which has a very long tradition in Canada, then it's freedom of speech that's absolutely crucial for that. And so it's very straightforward matter to make a left-wing case for free speech. That's generally who makes the case for free speech.